Captain Heijin Park sat in his command chair aboard the UES Defender, Earth's newest space patrol ship. The gentle hum of the engines filled the bridge as his crew worked at their stations. It was supposed to be another quiet day of patrol duty near Saturn's rings. "Captain, I'm picking up something strange," said Lieutenant Jai Yun-Li from her tactical station. Her fingers moved quickly across the screen. "It's a distress signal, but not like anything in our database." He-Jin straightened in his chair. First contact was strictly controlled by Earth's government. No captain was supposed to respond to alien signals without permission, but something in the signal made him pause. "Play it on the main speakers," he ordered. The bridge filled with a series of musical tones, mixed with what sounded like words in an unknown language. Behind these sounds, they could hear explosions and what might have been screaming. "Myray," He-Jin called to his communications officer. "Can you make sense of this?" Myray Kang's hands flew over her console as she worked to understand the alien message. "The computer is starting to translate parts of it, Captain. It's a medical transport under attack. They're begging for help." She looked up with worried eyes. "There are children aboard." The bridge grew silent. Everyone knew the rules. No contact with alien species without proper authorization. Breaking this rule could end all their careers, maybe even get them arrested. He-Jin stood up and walked to the front viewport. Through the reinforced glass, he could see Saturn's rings glittering in the distance. He thought about all the training sessions that told him to wait for orders. Then he thought about the screaming he had heard in that message. "Song-ho," he called to his medical officer, "prep the medical bay for possible alien patients. We don't know what we might find, but be ready for anything." "Engineering," he continued, "I want full power to engines and shields." Ta-Won's voice came back quickly with a "Yes, sir." Jai-Yun looked up from her station. "Captain, if we do this, we're breaking about 15 different regulations." He-Jin nodded. "Note in the ship's log that I take full responsibility for this decision." He sat back in his command chair and gripped the armrests. "Plot a course to the source of that distress signal. Maximum speed." The UES Defender's engines roared to life as it changed course. Through the viewport, Saturn's rings began to fade as they moved toward the outer edges of the solar system. "Signal source located," Jai-Yun reported after 20 minutes of high-speed travel. "It's just beyond Neptune's orbit. I'm detecting 2 ships. One appears damaged and is running on low power. The other," she paused, checking her readings. "The other is definitely attacking the first one." "Show me," He-Jin ordered. The main screen lit up with an image that made everyone on the bridge catch their breath. 2 ships hung in the darkness of space. One was sleek and white, clearly damaged, with what looked like medical symbols on its hull. The other was darker, bristling with weapons, and was firing some kind of energy beams at the medical ship. "Their shields are almost gone," Jai-Yun reported, studying the damaged ship. "They won't last another 5 minutes at this rate." He-Jin stood again, his decision made. He might be ending his career, but he couldn't watch children die, no matter what planet they came from. "Battle stations," he ordered, his voice firm. "Prepare all weapons. Myray, send a message to that attacking ship. Tell them that they are in United Earth space and must cease their attack immediately." As red alert lights began flashing throughout the ship, He-Jin watched the alien vessels grow larger on the screen. He didn't know if Earth's weapons would be enough against their advanced technology. He didn't know if he was starting a war or making first contact in the worst possible way. But he knew one thing for certain. While he was captain of this ship, nobody was going to hurt children in his solar system. Not while humanity had anything to say about it. The UES Defender raced forward, its human crew ready to show the galaxy that Earth would stand up for what was right, no matter the consequences. The UES Defender moved closer to the battle, its engines glowing bright against the darkness of space. Lieutenant Jai Yun-Li studied her tactical screens with growing concern. The enemy ship's weapons were far more advanced than anything she had seen before. Their energy shields are unlike ours, Captain, she reported to Hui-Jin. And their weapons, they're using some kind of plasma technology. Hui-Jin nodded, keeping his eyes on the main screen. What about our weapons? Can we hurt them? Jai Yun ran quick calculations. Their shields seem designed to stop energy weapons, Captain. A small smile appeared on her face. But we don't use energy weapons. We use good old-fashioned tungsten rounds. Sometimes the old ways are the best ways, Hui-Jin said. Target their main weapons. Fire when ready. The defenders' rail guns came to life, launching solid metal rounds at incredible speeds. The enemy ship's shields flickered with bright colors as they tried to stop the projectiles, but they weren't designed for this kind of attack. The tungsten rounds passed through, slamming into the ship's weapon ports. Direct hits, Jai Yun announced. Their main weapons are damaged. The enemy ship turned its attention away from the medical transport, finally noticing the Earth vessel. A message came through, translated by Mayrei's communication systems. They're saying we have no right to interfere, Mayrei reported. They're demanding we leave or be destroyed. She paused, listening more. They're calling us primitives. Hui-Jin stood from his chair. Send them this message. This is Earth space. We protect those who need help here. Leave now or see how primitive we can be. The enemy ship responded by firing at the defender. But Jai Yun was ready. She had studied their attack patterns while they were firing at the medical ship. Evasive maneuvers, Hui-Jin ordered. The defender moved with surprising speed, dodging the energy beams. Earth ships were built to be agile, designed for the crowded spaces of the asteroid belt. Engineering status, Hui-Jin called. Taiwan's voice came back strong. All systems running at full power, Captain. Our shields are holding. Jai Yun saw her chance. Captain, I have a clear shot at their engine section. Permission to fire. Granted. Another series of tungsten rounds launched from the defender. This time, they struck the enemy's engines. The hostile ship's power flickered, and it began to drift. Their engines are disabled, Jai Yun reported. They're switching to backup power. Before Hui-Jin could respond, the enemy ship disappeared in a flash of light. Emergency jump system, Jai Yun explained. They've retreated. The bridge crew let out a collective breath. They had won their first battle with an alien ship. Mayrei, contact the medical transport. Hui-Jin ordered. Let them know they're safe now. The response came quickly. The medical ship's captain appeared on their screen. The alien looked almost human, except for their silvery skin and large dark eyes. They spoke, and Mayrei translated. They're thanking us, she said. They say they're called the Ryuni. They never expected. They're surprised that we helped them. They thought Earth was too primitive to have spaceships like ours. Hui-Jin smiled. Tell them we may be younger than some species, but we know right from wrong. Ask what medical assistance they need. As Song-Ho prepared to receive the injured aliens in the medical bay, Hui-Jin looked at his crew with pride. They had just broken dozens of regulations, but they had also shown the galaxy something important about humanity. Sometimes being primitive meant sticking to simple truths. Helping those in need was always right, and if anyone thought humans were too primitive to be part of the galactic community, well, they had just proved otherwise. Good work, everyone, Hui-Jin said to his crew. Let's show our guests some human hospitality. Medical Officer Song-Ho Kim stood in the defender's medical bay, examining his new patients with great care. The Ryuni looked almost human, but their silvery skin seemed to change color slightly when they were in pain. This discovery helped him treat them more effectively. Your heart is in a different place than ours, Song-Ho told a young Ryuni child as he cleaned a small wound on her arm. Mayrei stood nearby, translating his words. But it works in a similar way. That's quite amazing. The child smiled at him, her skin shifting to a soft blue color that Song-Ho hadn't seen before. The child's parent, standing nearby, explained through Mayray that blue meant happiness in their species. Meanwhile, in the ship's conference room, Captain Heijin listened as the Ryuni Medical Transport's captain, Dalry, explained their situation. Mayray sat between them, translating carefully. "We are part of the Galactic Federation," Dalry said. "We were transporting sick children to a healing center when those pirates attacked us. We didn't expect help from Earth. We were told your people were still limited to your own solar system." Heijin leaned forward. "We've kept our progress quiet. Earth has learned it's sometimes better to watch and learn before stepping forward." Dalry's skin shifted to a deep green, which Mayray had learned meant surprise. The Federation's leaders chose not to contact Earth because they thought humans were too. Dalry paused, looking uncomfortable. "Too primitive," Heijin suggested with a small smile. "Too unpredictable," Dalry corrected. "They said humans make decisions based on emotions instead of logic. That humans take too many risks." Dalry's skin changed to a soft purple color, but those very traits saved our children today. In the medical bay, Song-ho made another interesting discovery. The Ryuni's bodies healed faster when they were happy. He started teaching the children simple Earth games to play while they recovered, and their wounds began healing more quickly. "Your doctor is very wise," one of the Ryuni parents told Mayray. "He understands that healing isn't just about medicine. We have doctors with more advanced tools, but they don't always see the whole picture like this." On the bridge, Lieutenant Jae-yun was talking with the Ryuni ship's engineer. They discovered that while Ryuni technology was more advanced, it wasn't very flexible. Their computers couldn't adapt quickly to new situations. Earth's systems, built to handle the unexpected, sometimes worked better. "Your ship's computer made a new plan in the middle of the battle," the Ryuni engineer said with amazement. "Our systems only follow pre-programmed responses. That's why we couldn't escape from the pirates. They knew all our possible moves." By the end of the day, both humans and Ryuni had learned important lessons from each other. The Ryuni saw that humanity's primitive ways often held surprising wisdom. The humans learned that advanced technology wasn't everything. Sometimes simple solutions worked better. In his captain's log, Heijin made a final entry for the day. "We've made first contact with the Ryuni species. They call us unpredictable. They say we rely too much on emotions. Maybe they're right. But today, those human traits saved lives. Sometimes the best way forward isn't the most advanced or logical path. Sometimes you just have to listen to your heart and do what's right." As he finished his log, Heijin received a message from Earth Command. They had detected his battle with the alien ship. He would have a lot of explaining to do, but looking at the recovered Ryuni children playing games in the medical bay through the ship's cameras, he knew he would make the same choice again. Sometimes the right choice wasn't the safe choice. That was something humanity had always understood. The message from the Galactic Federation arrived 3 days after the rescue. Captain Heijin Park watched on the main screen as 3 large Federation ships appeared near Neptune's orbit. Their size made the Defender look tiny in comparison. "They're requesting permission to dock," Mayray reported from her communication station. "Their tone is not friendly." Heijin straightened his uniform. "Grant them permission. Let's show them proper Earth hospitality." The Federation delegation arrived in the Defender's main meeting room. Their leader, Ambassador Yonghashin, was from a species that looked like tall, blue-skinned humans. His face showed no emotion as he spoke. "Captain Park," the ambassador began, "you have created a serious diplomatic situation. Earth was not supposed to have ships this far out in space. You were not supposed to have military technology of this level." He placed a data pad on the table. "Explain yourself." Before Heijin could answer, Engineering Chief Ta-won spoke up. He had been studying the Federation ship systems. "With respect, Ambassador, why do your ships rely so heavily on AI advisors for every decision?" The ambassador looked surprised. "Our AI systems are the most advanced in the galaxy. They process all variables and provide the optimal solution for every situation. Taiwan shook his head. But they're all connected to the same network, aren't they? They'd all think the same way. That's why those pirates knew exactly how to attack the medical ship. They knew how the AI would respond. The room grew quiet. The ambassador's blue skin turned slightly darker. You cannot suggest that our advanced AI systems are predictable. He-Jin saw his chance. Ambassador, we kept our progress quiet because we were watching and learning. We saw how the Federation's technology, while advanced, had stopped growing. Your eye tells you there's a best way to do everything. So you never try new ways. In the corner, Song Ho added softly, like how your medical ships have amazing tools but don't consider how a patient's happiness affects their healing. Jai-yun stepped forward with data from the battle. Your ship shields are perfect against energy weapons, but you never considered someone might use simple physical projectiles. You stopped looking for new ideas because your AI told you it had found all the best answers. The ambassador looked troubled. Before he could respond, emergency alarms began ringing throughout the ship. Maire's voice came over the speakers, filled with urgency. Captain, multiple ships appearing near Jupiter. They match the design of the pirate ship we fought, but they're much bigger. They're broadcasting a message to the Federation ships. The main screen lit up with an image of another alien. Its red scales gleamed as it spoke. This is Commander Ray-Jin of the Nexus Liberation Force. We have come to cleanse the galaxy of species that rely on primitive thinking instead of pure logic. Surrender your ships or be destroyed. The ambassador's face showed fear. The Nexus. Our AI systems say we have no chance against this many ships. We must retreat. He-Jin stood up straight. No, sometimes the logical choice isn't the right choice. Earth doesn't run from bullies, and we don't abandon allies. He turned to his crew. Battle stations, everyone. Let's show the Federation why sometimes being unpredictable is exactly what you need. The Defenders' alarms continued to sound as humans and Federation members rushed to prepare for battle. Earth's first major space battle was about to begin, and the galaxy was about to learn why depending too much on logic could be the most illogical choice of all. The Nexus fleet moved closer to Jupiter, their black ships blocking out the stars behind them. On the Defenders' bridge, Lieutenant Jai-yun watched as more enemy ships appeared from light-speed travel. She counted 20 ships now, each one bigger than their own vessel. Ambassador Yang paced in the command center, talking urgently with the Federation Council through a holographic display. We need immediate assistance. The Nexus threat is real. The council members, appearing as blue holograms, looked uncertain. One of them spoke slowly. Our AI systems need time to calculate the best response. The risk assessment protocols must be followed. Captain He-Jin watched this exchange with growing concern. Ambassador, how long will these calculations take? Several days, at least, Yang had admitted. The Council must consider all possible outcomes before taking action. Maire's voice cut through their discussion. Captain, incoming transmission from the Nexus fleet. Commander Ray-Jin's scaled face appeared on the main screen. His red eyes seemed to glow as he spoke. We have studied your Federation for years. Your dependence on AI has made you weak. Your rigid protocols have made you slow. The galaxy needs cleansing of such weakness. He-Jin stepped forward. And what about Earth? We're not part of the Federation. Ray-Jin's mouth curved into what might have been a smile. Humans are even worse. You trust feelings over logic. You make choices based on emotion. You are unpredictable and dangerous. You must be eliminated first. The transmission ended. The enemy fleet began moving into attack formation. In the Defender's engine room, Taiwan worked quickly with his team. He had noticed something about the Nexus ships. Captain, he called through the ship's communication system. Their ships are all running the same type of AI. Just like the Federation, they believe there's only one right way to do things. He-Jin nodded, and that makes them predictable too. He turned to Jai-yun. What's their attack formation telling you? Jai-yun studied her tactical display. They're arranging themselves in a perfect geometric pattern. Their AI must think it's the most efficient attack position. But she smiled suddenly. That means I know exactly where each ship will be. Ambassador Yang looked confused. But they have 20 ships. Their combined firepower is overwhelming. The logical choice is to retreat. Logic isn't everything, He-jin replied. He pressed a button on his chair. All hands, battle stations. This is what we're going to do. Taiwan, push our engines to maximum. Jai-yun, prepare all weapons. Mi-ray, send a message to Earth Command. Tell them we need every ship they can send. The ambassador's face showed shock. You're going to fight. The odds of survival are less than 20%. He-jin smiled. Never tell a human the odds. It just makes us try harder. He looked at his crew, seeing determination on every face. The Nexus thinks they can predict everything because they rely on pure logic. But humans know that life isn't just about logic. Sometimes you have to trust your gut, take risks, and do what's right even when it's not logical. The Defender's engines hummed louder as they prepared for battle. On the main screen, the Nexus fleet's perfect formation hung against the backdrop of Jupiter. They thought their logic made them superior. They were about to learn that humanity's greatest strength was knowing when to ignore logic and follow their hearts instead. Captain He-jin gathered his crew and the Reuni representatives in the Defender's main engineering bay. Time was short, but he knew they needed a plan that went beyond just fighting. The Nexus thinks they're superior because they rely purely on logic, He-jin explained, standing next to a holographic display of the enemy fleet. But that's also their weakness. They can't think outside their programming. Taiwan stepped forward, holding up a strange device that combined Earth and Reuni technology. I've been working with the Reuni engineers. Their quantum computers are incredibly powerful, but they're too rigid. So we added Earth's adaptive algorithms. He placed the device on a table where everyone could see it. We call it the Chaos Engine. It doesn't try to find the perfect solution like their AI does. Instead, it creates random but effective responses that no logical AI could predict. Ambassador Yang watched with concern. But introducing chaos into battle plans goes against all strategic principles. The risk factor is too high. Jai-yun smiled as she examined the device. That's exactly why it will work. The Nexus Eye will try to calculate every possible logical move we might make. But we won't make logical moves. We'll make human moves. The Reuni medical ship's captain, Dalry, stepped forward, her silver skin showing patterns of determination. My people will help. We've seen what humans can do. Sometimes the best medicine isn't the most advanced one. Sometimes the best strategy isn't the most logical one. He-jin nodded. Taiwan, how long to install the Chaos Engine in our ships? 2 hours, Captain. The Earth reinforcements will arrive just as we finish. The Reuni have also called their nearby medical fleet. They're not warships, but they have strong shields. Mi-ray, who had been quiet, suddenly spoke up. Captain, I've been analyzing the Nexus communications. They repeat certain patterns because their AI can only think in certain ways. We can use that against them. He-jin looked at his crew with pride. Humans, working together with aliens, finding creative solutions that no eye could predict. This was humanity's true strength, not just fighting, but bringing people together, thinking differently, and refusing to give up. Here's the plan, He-jin announced. We'll divide our forces into 3 groups. Earth ships will lead the attack, using unpredictable patterns generated by the Chaos Engine. Reuni medical ships will provide shield support and healing. The Federation ships. He turned to Ambassador Yang. If you're willing to trust us, your ships can protect our flanks. The ambassador looked at the humans and Reuni working together, seeing something his AI advisors had never shown him. The power of different species working together, combining logic and intuition, advanced technology, and creative thinking. "We will follow your lead, Captain Park," the ambassador said finally. Perhaps it's time the Federation learned to think differently too. As the combined fleet prepared for battle, He Jin made one final ship-wide announcement. "The Nexus thinks they're superior because they follow pure logic. But humanity has always known that the heart can be just as important as the mind. Together with our allies, we'll show them that the best solutions come when you combine both." The stars seemed to shine brighter as the Earth ships and their allies moved into position. The greatest battle in human history was about to begin, and it would be fought not just with weapons, but with the unique creativity and determination that made humanity special. The space around Jupiter lit up with weapons fire as the battle began. The Nexus fleet moved forward in perfect formation, their ships arranged in precise geometric patterns. Their AI systems calculated every possible logical move their opponents might make. But the human fleet didn't make logical moves. "Chaos engine activated," Todd 1 reported from engineering. The Defender's computers began generating random but effective attack patterns, sharing them with the other Earth ships. "All ships follow the Chaos engine patterns," He Jin ordered. The Earth fleet broke apart, each ship moving in ways that seemed random. Some ships flew straight at the enemy. Others spun and weaved in strange patterns. A few even appeared to retreat, only to return from unexpected angles. The Nexus fleet's perfect formation faltered. Their AI systems couldn't predict these irregular movements. Commander Ray Jin's angry face appeared on the main screen. "What are you doing? These attack patterns make no sense." "Exactly," He Jin replied with a smile, then ended the transmission. Jia Yun's tactical systems picked their targets carefully. "Their ships are trying to rebuild their formation," she reported. "They can't adapt to our random movements, so they're falling back on pre-programmed responses." The Reuni medical ships moved in perfect sync with the Earth vessels, their powerful shields protecting the attacking ships. When a ship was damaged, they quickly moved in to help. The Federation ships guarded the flanks, their powerful weapons firing whenever a Nexus ship tried to escape the chaos. Mai Ray kept the Allied fleet coordinated, her understanding of both human and alien communications proving vital. "The Nexus ships are getting confused," she reported. "Their AI systems are trying to find logical patterns in our movements, but there aren't any to find." In the engine room, Taiwan and his team worked with Reuni engineers to keep the Chaos engine running. "Their computer systems are overloading," he called out. "They're trying to calculate too many possibilities at once." The battle raged for hours. The Nexus fleet's superior numbers meant nothing against opponents they couldn't predict. Their perfectly logical AI systems couldn't handle the randomness of human tactics combined with alien technology. "Their formation is breaking apart," Jia Yun announced. On the main screen, they could see the Nexus fleet scattered and disorganized. Several of their ships had already retreated. Commander Ray Jin appeared on screen one last time. His red scales had paled with anger and fear. "This is impossible. Our logic is perfect. Our calculations are perfect." "That's your problem," He Jin replied calmly. "You think everything must be perfect and logical. But life isn't perfect. Sometimes the best solutions come from the heart, not just the mind." The remaining Nexus ships began to retreat, their perfect formation completely destroyed. The combined fleet of humans, Reuni and Federation ships had won, not through superior technology or numbers, but through creativity, cooperation, and the willingness to try unexpected solutions. As the battle ended, Ambassador Yonghe approached He Jin on the bridge. "I understand now," he said quietly. "The Federation has relied too much on pure logic, just like the Nexus. We forgot that sometimes the best path forward isn't the most logical one." He Jin looked out at the stars, where Earth and alien ships now flew together in victory. "Logic has its place," he said, "but so do courage, creativity, and the willingness to trust each other. That's what humanity has always understood." 1 month after the battle near Jupiter, Captain He Jin Park stood in the Grand Meeting Hall of the Galactic Federation. The massive room was filled with representatives from hundreds of alien species. Earth was about to make history. Ambassador Yonga stood at the central podium, his blue skin gleaming under the bright lights. "Today we welcome Earth as a full member of the Galactic Federation," he announced. "They have shown us that true strength comes not from having the most advanced technology, but from having the wisdom to know when to trust your heart as well as your mind." Hijin looked at his crew, standing proud in their Earth Defense Force uniforms. Each of them had received special honors. Lieutenant Jai Yun's combat tactics were now being studied at Federation military academies. Engineering Chief Taiwan's Chaos Engine had revolutionized space technology, showing how combining different approaches could create something new and better. Medical Officer Song Ho had shared his insights about emotional healing with Federation doctors, teaching them that medicine wasn't just about advanced tools. Communications Officer Mai Rei's methods for bringing different species together had become the standard for Federation diplomatic training. The Ryuni had become Earth's strongest allies. Their medical ships now carried both advanced Federation technology and Earth's more personal approach to healing. Captain Dalry had been named the first Joint Earth Ryuni Fleet Commander, leading ships that combined the best of both worlds. "The Nexus threat taught us an important lesson," Ambassador Yonga continued. "They believed that pure logic was the only path to advancement. They forgot that emotion, creativity, and even chaos can lead to growth and understanding." Hijin remembered the message they had received that morning. The remaining Nexus ships had been found, abandoned. Their AI systems had crashed, unable to handle the idea that their perfect logic had failed against what they saw as primitive tactics. "Earth has shown us a new way forward," the ambassador said. "They remind us that sometimes the best solution isn't the most advanced one. Sometimes you need to listen to your heart, take risks, and trust in each other." After the ceremony, Hojin met with his crew in a quiet garden area. Through the large windows, they could see Earth shining like a blue jewel in the distance. Their home had changed forever, but they had helped make the galaxy a better place. "What happens now, Captain?" Jai Yun asked. Hijin smiled. "Now we keep exploring, keep learning, and keep showing the galaxy what humans do best, helping others, thinking creatively, and never giving up even when the odds seem impossible." Back on the Defender, Hojin made his final log entry about their incredible journey. "Earth has joined the galactic community not because we had the most advanced ships or the most powerful weapons, but because we remembered something important, that being advanced isn't just about technology. It's about wisdom, compassion, and the courage to do what's right even when it seems impossible. The galaxy now knows that if anyone needs help, humanity's got their back." As the Defender prepared for its next mission, Hijin looked at the stars through his viewport. They seemed brighter now, full of new possibilities. Humanity had found its place among the stars not by becoming more logical or more advanced, but by staying true to what made them human, their hearts, their creativity, and their willingness to help others in need. The galaxy would never be the same, and that was a good thing.